Himlern, or just don't care.
Oh yeah, I guess there would be, hey? Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, so it's like, pretty much the paladin needed to pick a god, because the paladin's a paladin.
Yeah,
but
they
other than
they call on
other
the deity.
people,
Yeah.
Yeah. Other people don't necessarily need to do that. Alright. So, it's been about a week since a lot of you graduated from the academy. Since then, you've been hired on to the capital, the city of Mail. Nice big capital building, kind of in the middle of things. None of you own your own car, but you all know how to drive. You've been taught that in the academy, mostly because it's a necessity of field work sometimes. But since you live in a big city, you're pretty much been taking public transportation, like the fast trains, various buses, that sort of thing. Or you probably live in an apartment very close by to the building now that you've gotten out of the academy. So far, you have been spending the week mostly working on various paperwork, familiarizing yourself with things going on in the office, old cases, busy work that basically the boss has been giving you. Now she has called you up to her office. She is a half vampire, living vampire. Her mother is a living vampire, and her father was some mortal some human mortal who was long dead. She's about 200 years old, although she doesn't look pretty much any older than 30, as far as your eyes are concerned. Her name is Rihanna Bloodrose. Long blood red hair, green eyes, typically lovely looking vampire looks, but pretty much those are the main features that I've always thought of her with. And she stands behind her desk, overlooking you all as you walk in. She has several seats in front of her desk. All are capable of accommodating any one of you, meaning that they're large enough for a Minotaur. And she had on her desk is a type of computer screen that we don't currently have, as far as I know, which essentially allows anything that the user is putting up on their screen from their side to be mirrored on the opposite side, so that you'd be able to see exactly what she's doing on her computer, even though you're facing her. But when it's not lit, it's completely clear, so that she can see you without having to turn a monitor or anything like that. It's very useful. Something that I'm hoping future technology will have. They don't already have it in really high class boardrooms somewhere. Would any of you like to say anything to her or to each other as you walk in?
What are we being called into the meeting for, Horace? You're the leader. You know why we're being summoned?
Oh, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. Hopefully we can get out of this office.
Why have we been summoned?
Shall we walk in?
I walk in and sit down.
Who's going to it?
Alright. So she looks over you all. I'm glad you guys are prompt. On time is always good in this place. She waits for you to be seated before sitting back behind her desk and starting up her monitor screen. 3 days ago, we have lost contact with the city of Pine Valley. Sorry, town of Pine Valley. She wouldn't have said city. As you may or may not be aware, this is one of the places where as you may or may not be aware, there is a prison in that location. It is possible that there was a prison break recently, although we have no way of supporting this as we have currently no communication. She looks over at Horace, seeing if he has anything to input at this point. Any questions or anything like that?
No. I don't have any questions. This whole time I'm just taking notes, like a little journal.
All right.
When was the last time that you heard from the town?
3 days, she reiterates. And the train seems to have broken down somewhere outside there as well. Although
the trains aren't running.
Yes, the train is not running as far as there. It's only going as far as... What's the name of that city? Damn it. Telenar. It's only going as far as Telenar. But of course, Telenar is only about 2 hours drive from Pine Valley. Still, no one has heard anything from anything from anybody living there for 3 days.
Do you
This
know,
is- Go ahead.
is the train not making it because of a mechanical issue, or is there something wrong with the track?
Something befell the track, and it still hasn't been fixed. That's all we know for
Seems
certain.
fishy.
Yes.
How are we expected to get over there?
We'll have to drive.
Well,
Are you
it'll
even
be take.
expecting to go over there? Like, you're never even supposed to go.
No, she holds up a hand for a second. Well, I'll be sending you by train down to Telenar, and you'll be able to take a car from there. Should be able to rent or even buy one. She produces a special card and hands it over to Horace. I'll give it to your team leader, and you should be able to use the company card. Although, try not to buy anything too extravagant. She kind of levels him with her green-eyed stare. Now, we don't actually know for certain what's happened there. It could be a prison break. It could be terrorists. As you know, it's not that far from the border. It is one of the southernmost towns. It could also be some sort of biological contamination. In addition to the prison, there is also a pretty decent hospital there. I mean, for a small, out-of-the-way town, who knows what might have happened. All we know for certain is that there's no cellular communications coming from there, and no one who lives there has reported in towards Telenar, or anywhere else for that matter, to say that what's going on there. So it has been decided that before we can put together some sort of response to what's going on there, that our latest recruits go down and check the situation out.
Is there any reason or recent threats that might have made this a terrorist attack?
It's been fairly quiet to the south, but who knows? Since they are to the south, a place like Pine Valley, a small, out-of-the-way place, might be the perfect bastion for them to get a foothold in our lands. We don't know if it's magical or technological that's caused this interruption in communications. That will be your job to assess. Find out exactly what's going on down there, and find out. Sorry, and transmit this information back so that we can figure out the best course of action. If it's something small and just random, and it's just the cellular towers down, and people of Pine Valley just don't realize that something's gone wrong outside. She kind of grumbles at this. You can try to fix one of the towers. Out of character. Did any of you pick up an electronics pack? Or would any of you like to pick up an electronics pack, I should say?
I would.
Alright.
That's disgusting.
You can just put that into your, as just an item in there. It should be able to, like, you know, fix.
Who said that? The wizard?
Wizard.
Yeah. You should be able to, like, you know, fix a tower or, you know, jump various things. Like, let's say, for example, electronic lock. You should be able to use, like, an electronics pack to jump that, or you can use a hacker pack if you wanted a hacker pack. But, a hacker pack won't fix a broken tower. We'll fix one that's been scrambled, however.
I'll take a hacker pack.
Okay. Continue on with that. She looks over at the individuals in the group that she knows have electronics experience.
Who would that be?
The wizard and Tim, apparently. Felsing and Tim. Which is always useful. It's like, you know, the two elves in the
We should use character names, that way I don't get confused.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
Yeah,
except that unfortunately I don't get, other than Batmanual and Kal-El and Felsing. Well, actually, if that's the case, I should be able to get that. Tim is then
I can
Edgar.
change my name in
You can
here.
change the name if you want to make it easier. If you just go to the cog piece and then you can type in your name, and it's just for this game. It won't affect your
Yeah.
name in the game.
But anyway,
Okay, sorry. How do I do that?
just see the cog at the very edge of your Roll20 sheet.
Yeah.
It says, mouse over. It says My Settings. There's a thing called Display Name. Just type whatever name you want in there, and then hit Save Name. It'll only save for this game.
Huh.
Hey, there we go. Onks. Let's see here. She shows up a map of Pine Valley to everyone.
Well.
She puts that up on her screen. It's pretty. This is just a general layout of the town. It doesn't really show any of the houses. Just some of the more interesting locations, some might say.
You look at the the sprocket in the corner
Yeah.
in the top. That's where you find it.
Okay. I'm just a nub. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
She highlights the prison down at the edge of here. And says if something's wrong with the prison, that is part of your duty as the NIB to recover any lost prisoners. However, if there's a hostage situation going on inside where it's taken over the town, you will definitely need to radio for support. You should not be going in alone to something like that. But if it's just a prison break and the communications are down, something like that, she says you do have the authority to recapture.
And where is the communications tower located? Where
There's basically various towers located inside and outside of town. They're also not shown on the map. She basically starts pointing them out, and you'll find basically look around the outskirts, major points, like there'd be one on top of the hospital, one on top of the mall, of course, one on top of the office complex, one on top of the apartment building, probably one on top of the school.
okay.
No wonder the kids have cancer.
Should we focus on getting the towers repaired first?
She says,
Assess it first.
Assess the situation, and if you can get one of the towers repaired in order to, let everyone else know what's going on out there, that should be enough. We'll be able to send in repair teams after we find out what exactly is going on, what the danger is, why the communications have been interrupted. Of course, it could be magical, and she looks over at the wizard, and that's something that should be able to assess. You might not be able to fix it yourself, but you should be able to at least assess something of a magical nature.
I'll see what I can do.
Good. Now, do you have any more questions, gentlemen?
Not here. Let me go.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, I don't think I get it.
All right. Go home, pack a bag, and leave right away, please. Dismissed. She waves a hand in the air.
Yes, ma'am.
Walk out.
Walk out, yeah. As we walk out, I'll let everybody know we should probably stop and buy the supplies and pick anything else up that we're missing.
You won't necessarily buy supplies. You'll be able to get some standard supplies down in the requisitions room. What kind of supplies are you looking for?
I still got everything that I got from last time, so I was just trying to give everybody else a chance if there was anything they wanted.
I think we should get.
I should probably get some more bullets.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I think everybody has 20 bullets as it is. You shouldn't. They'll be able to basically just copy and paste. I think copy and paste the bullet thing or just up the count. But it will give you weight, and it's you can't take an obnoxious amount of bullets, but you can try to put things together in a bag or something like that. Of course, you could then lose the bag, and I'll keep Just so you know. But if you take some, a handful of bullets, like a couple more clips as it is, or like bags. I think it's what it's listed on your sheet. That should be okay. Water.
How many bullets does the gun hold?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna go with 12.
12. Okay. Here.
Kind of should. Whenever I think of a gun, holding
What about
bullets, 12
sniper
comes to
rifle?
mind. Sniper
Or just a
rifle.
rifle? Sorry.
Because I've seen handguns that hold 30 bullets with an extended clip, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But 12 always seems to feel.
Yeah, 12
felt
is
right
kind
to
of
me.
standard.
And when it comes to sniper rifles or even rifles in general, the word 6 comes to mind.
Okay.
So you go down to the procurement office, procure small amounts. They wouldn't hand you a ton of things, but they might hand you 2 more clips worth each. As you don't know what the danger is, they don't know if there is much danger, if you have much need for it, because your general assignment is to observe, report, possibly repair, and if you just see some prison break guy running around, to capture them, sort of thing, because you've been trained to do that. But not to get in necessarily to an ongoing hostage situation, but to report on that. However, if you're caught suddenly in a hostage situation, or have no way of getting back, and you see a hostage situation that is about to unravel, then you're being given authority to go in and deal with it. But anything that looks like it is not an immediate threat, you've been told to report back just in case, in terms of that sort of situation.
Okay.
Yep. Could I grab have a pair of handcuffs or something?
Oh, that's right. You probably would have handcuffs. Something I didn't put on your character sheet. But yes, each of you can take a pair of handcuffs. They'd probably be, if you want to put any more specifics into them, made out of metal with adjustable sizes, to make sure that you can arrest a kobold or a ogre or minotaur, for that matter, with the same pair, and have some sort of charm on them to help keep magic users from doing hand casting.
Nice. I don't need anything else then.
All right.
So how much extra bullets should we write down?
I'm going to go with 40.
Wouldn't it be 48 if it's 12? 4 clips would be 48.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, it would be 2. It would be they were giving 2 clips. I was thinking 2 bags. Each bag was 20 bullets.
Oh, okay, so we have to reload our own clips.
So I would keep it on a clip in a bag. Can we get a clip bag? Like a belt clip or something to keep the clips
I
in?
think we can rewrite it to that. Yeah, that'll
Okay.
work a lot better.
Okay, so
Like I said, I was just renaming the existing items, and this was the crossbolt bag or whatever, or the crossbolt thing, and it was 20 each.
Yeah. So do you want us to put 4 clips and then each clip 12 bullets?
That'll work. It'll make your sheet look a lot easier. But they are reloadable clips, so it's it's basically if you find spare bullets laying around that are unused, you could always reload your clip from that.
I'm good with just a 20 in a bag. Oh,
A bandolier would be too noticeable, unfortunately. So you'd be allowed a belt. If later you wish to get a bandolier if the situation arrives, then we can talk. But right now, basically, you'd be an agent walking down the streets, in your dark clothes, people would stare at you if you're wearing a bandolier, whereas people wouldn't necessarily notice a belt clip. The images she displayed on her computer are now all in your phone via an app that basically lets your boss, send things from her computer while you're sitting in her office directly to your phone, kind of like AirDrop sort of thing. And each of you also, in case you didn't know this or intuit this, you would be sharing your notes with each other via wireless, or if you're within 100 feet with each other.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Like later on, if you get separated and you still can't communicate via phone or wireless, basically you would know where each other was if you suddenly came within 100 feet of each other. So that's a useful thing to know.
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Once
good
you
too.
get all of your equipment together, you're on the train. Pretty much just a decent train. The train system there is actually still pretty good, with a dining car and everything else. Do you wish to roleplay it at all, or would you like to just go straight to?
We'll play a little. I go to the guys. First round's on me, guys. Let's go get a drink while even though we're on duty, but it'll take us a while to get there.
Sorry, your thing was still moving in the time. So it's good. Or do you wish to
That
go
sounds
right
good
straight
to
to
me.
Telenar?
Let's have a beer to get
Hold
this.
on. I think the power went out of my microphone. Testing. No, I can't hear anything.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we
hear you.
We can hear you typing.
Yeah, that's because my headset does not have the microphone. My camera does. I use the headset so that I can leave it on automatic and not have to keep switch to talk. No, I have to hold on. I have to turn my speakers on and change to push to talk. Hold on. Okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I had to change over to my speakers, so every time I finish talking, I'm going to put myself on mute.
Okay, one of the other players just took off real quick.
Edvar went somewhere real quick.
No, did anyone say anything as I was talking about the train? Because I think that's when my sound dropped.
Yeah, I said to the guys, let's have a beer and toast our first mission.
Yeah, Onyx offered to buy us a beer.
All right, there's beer available. There's all sorts of spirits. Don't worry about subtracting any money from this. Just pretend that you have enough pocket change for any beer or cozy snacks or anything like that you might want.
Per diem.
Or there's that, yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'll be the next guy and buy the first round.
It's on per diem.
Yeah, and then as Onyx offers, I pull up the card and I'm like, I think they can. I think the Nib can buy one, maybe 2-3 rounds.
I'm not going.
He
to
laughs.
refuse.
Remember, that's supposed to be for emergency port.
Oh, she said it was for the mission. I'm just kidding. They can buy one round.
I'd consider this an emergency.
So we all go to the dining car, I guess, and then order a couple drinks.
I suggest we have a beer and a meal on them. Get us strength up for the.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, after making us stay in an office doing paperwork for a week.
I'm just gonna drink some brews. I don't think I'm gonna eat.
You're glad to be out of the office finally.
Very, very happy.
So what do y'all think might be going on over there?
I don't know.
Same
I have a
old
feeling
thing.
It is the drow, though.
Wait, what?
She's saying that she thinks our boss might not like the fact that we're just like, man, I could buy some food for us.
Probably not. But we'll probably end up dying on this mission anyway. So
We need to eat. It's part of the mission. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
to
it's
at least
liquid.
have a meat.
It's liquid bread.
yeah, liquid bread. That's totally what I'm talking about right there.
So
It's not like
Jack,
It's not like we're getting steak and lobster and everything like that.
Steak dinner.
yeah, I
So
think it might be.
Did we notice anything about this train that we're in, or as we're at the dining car? Is there anything suspicious, or?
Well, as far as you can tell, everything is pretty much normal on the train. Nobody really seems to have noticed that Pine Valley has essentially dropped off the grid because Pine Valley isn't visited that often. Pine Valley has been trying to get a better tourism board, but pretty much the only draw in there is the prison, and that isn't a huge draw for random people.
Yeah, it's like we're only coming to visit our families. That's it.
Yeah.
Am I regarded differently since I'm a drow? Like in general?
Well, you might notice that some people are, giving you a look here and there, but most people are, fine. They don't even seem to care that you're a drow. Maybe they know drow or, recognize that you have some sort of noble bearing or something along those lines that's, making them believe that you're just a normal citizen and everything like that. Or perhaps it's simply the nib patch, so they, see that and don't even notice that, hey, look, you're a drow and there's potentially drow wanting to attack us again, sort of stuff.
Okay.
I suggest we have our beer, have a sandwich to get us nice and energized for our trip.
A good meal.
Yeah, sounds good. We're gonna have a couple-hour road trip by the time we get there, so should probably be full.
Yeah, it's part of the mission. They gave us the card to fulfill our mission, so hey,
And they can't,
meals
they
included.
can't expect us to work on an empty stomach.
Nope.
Exactly.
Well, it's only a couple-hour trip there, and we're taking trains, so we just sit here until we're.
What time did we leave? Approximately.
You left approximately mid-morning. Your arrival at the arrival of the train to Telenar will be approximately early evening, and since it's summer, it is still very bright out. It'll still be a few hours till nighttime.
So see, we at least have to have one meal on the train,
Yeah, we gotta have dinner.
We gotta have lunch and dinner since we left today.
So that means 2 beers.
Not both at the same time. We have to space ourselves. If not, they'll get too suspicious.
I guess
What's-
so. I guess that wouldn't look too good on the nib.
Exactly, if we're doing it on company time, you know? One beer is fine because we're having it with our meal.
Watch out, guys! I'm gonna get soused. Just off that one beer.
Yeah, one beer and a sandwich. That's it.
All right, so I order a sandwich along with my beer.
I do the same.
And you have sandwiches of your choice, anything like, they would normally find, just the standard sort of thing, tuna fish, roast beef, that sort of thing, and a bag of chips and a beer each.
Do you have any vegan meals?
Who said that?
And the offering for a vegan sandwich is a plain cheese sandwich or basically a mushroom sandwich.
I'll take the mushroom sandwich, please.
Who said that?
The Minotaur. I feel like he would feel a little weird about eating cheese.
Grow a pair.
It's all right. I'll just take the mushroom sandwich, please.
Have some meat. Why don't you?
Maybe if it's elf meat, I can handle it.
Oh, right. The one thing I want to mention, even though the book specifies that minotaurs are carnivores, minotaurs in my world are always omnivores.
Okay, cool. I was just making a character.
They're always-
Cool. Cool. Excellent. So, Wizard, what's your school? What are you focusing on?
I'm focusing on necromancy. That is my school. That's my history.
It's interesting.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
I was just asking him what school he's focusing on.
And I was wondering what school too.
Necromancy.
You like to call dead people then, huh?
That's about right.
You guys are gonna get on great.
This will be interesting.
To people's deaths.
We got a holy man, and then we have someone that brings the dead. Nice.
Well,
This is
my deity is like a god of death and stuff, and just keeping track of dead. He's okay with reviving dead people as long as it's for the cause.
like I said. This is very interesting. A holy man and a
Oh, it's always for the cause.
I like it.
This is going to be a very interesting ride.
Onyx, he said you're the Dragonborn?
No, I am a Ganassi.
Oh, Ganassi. A fire Ganassi, is that what it was?
No, an Earth Ganassi. I'm silver. I look like Colossus,
Oh, okay. Oh, that's dope.
but I have red hair and blue eyes. It's like a rust red kind of.
After my sandwich, I'm gonna go in and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna take a nap before we get there because I feel like we're gonna have a long day ahead of us.
We should get to know each other better, even though we've known each other passing through halls. Let's get talking.
Why don't you start? Onyx is gonna let us know about yourself.
Well, my mom was raped by a earth elemental. That's how I came about.
Oh, a little light.
And
Oh dang!
yeah. So I'm on the search for the person who did this to my mother.
Just like that, you're just gonna, man, that's heavy.
Well, you're blunt and upfront. I like it. Well, I'm a third-born son of a lesser merchant noble, so I knew there wasn't much for me other than making my own way. So I decided to join the Nib.
So I like the token with the red.
The one that's below us.
What about you, Edvar?
Oh, pretty simple. I think. My mother was a servant to a lord, and he was kind enough to sponsor me to get into the Nib. He's quite a
I
good
was
man.
too.
Really?
So was yeah. My lord saw how quietly I moved around and how nothing, no sea type of terrain seemed to affect me. So he's like, you need to prove me right and make me proud and don't disappoint me. And
Then we are the lucky ones, I'd say.
yes,
My lord was like a father to me. Not having a father.
I didn't have a
taught me
father
to
either,
shoot
but he
and-
treated me like crap. But when he saw my abilities, that's when he started to respect me.
Elsing, what about yourself?
I don't really like to talk about it, but pretty much I'm a bastard to a noble man that I've never met, and they sent me off the academy and caused, just pretty much make me disappear.
So we have nobles in our midst. Oh, how lovely.
Don't. We're not. I don't think me or Felsing are too noble, so don't worry about that. Just by chance, just like yourself.
So Belsing von Wolfstrom is visibly bored, but waiting patiently for the destination.
So as the day winds on and the beers and the sandwiches are eaten, you eventually arrive at your destination of Telenar. You get to the train station. People are disembarking. The following people pass through your are in plain view of you as you leave the station. As you leave the train, you see several ogres dressed in suits, kind of standing to the side, chatting with each other. You see a half-elf woman who looks a bit frantic, trying to get somebody's attention. Looks like the train master, perhaps. And you see a kobold holding up a sign marked "Cars" over to one side, kind of looking eagerly at everybody as they come off the train.
I think that might be for us.
But actually, before we do that, I think we should check out that lady. She looks a little frantic. And
She's screaming anything that we can hear or saying anything loud enough that we can hear?
Sorry, did you say that to me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm saying, is there anything that would, like, while we're exiting the train, is she saying anything that we can hear?
Roll a your wisdom. Sorry, your perception check, wasn't it? Passive wisdom. No, passive wisdom. Yeah, perception. That's right.
If you just click on the skills too, it'll roll for you and add the modifiers.
for perception. It's worse than my
really?
passive.
So you just have to click on like perception or whatever?
Yeah, just click on perception, or like even weapon attacks and stuff. You can click on it and it'll roll it for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
they're set. I think most of them, if not all, the checks are set to just be whispered to the DM. That way she knows. Yeah, all the rolls are.
I'll make a perception check as well. Okay.
Did we hear anything interesting?
Well, it sounds like she's talking about maybe her son. She sounds to be like.
Oh wow. Her son has been missing for 3 days. She needs help. No one's listening to her. I start walking up towards her.
I follow. I think that was Edvar,
Edvar.
right? That yeah. I follow behind Edvar as soon as
I'm going as well.
So I obviously have to follow step behind everyone else at this point.
The woman, as she detects movement from the side of her eye, turns to you, and when her eyes fall upon your patches and your uniforms, she immediately leaves the train guy alone and heads directly towards you, intercepting you in your path. Please, she says, you have to help me. My son, he's been missing for 3 days.
Ma'am. Where was the last time you saw him?
He was at home, but she kind of lets out a long sigh. But he tends to go wandering. He's done it before, but he's never been gone for more than a day. And it's been 3 days now, and we haven't been able to find it. I haven't been able to find any evidence of where he might be, other than here in Telenar.
He's been missing for 3 days. I look to everyone else and I say, this might have something to do with what's going on.
What's your name, ma'am, and the name of your son?
I'm Lady Andrea Nightstorm, and my son is Aki Nightstorm. She pulls out her phone and...
Is that Andrea? Adria? Sorry?
Andrea. She pulls out her phone and unfortunately I forgot to download the picture. I'm sorry about that. And shows you the picture of a 8-year-old boy with short red hair and very blue eyes, like crystal blue. He looks fairly human. His ears, for example, are human. Her ears are, on the other hand, are slightly pointed, indicating her elven ancestry. And his cheekbones are chiseled more towards the elven side. But you see the biographical data scrolling on him, and see that he is the son of a lord, that his mother is the daughter of a elven lady from all the way over in the woods that I was talking about earlier, Eldara. That's basically. Nib would be prioritizing finding him at some point, although there is a situation going on nearby that you've been ordered to look into.
Well, I don't think we can actually apprehend.
What was the boy's name again? Her son's name? What was?
We can't.
Akai? Okay, sorry.
I know we have a mission to do, but we cannot let this lady go without finding her child.
I'm thinking we gotta do our duty.
But ma'am, do you know where?
We have a duty to help the people.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that our duty?
Is this boy not part of our people?
Is this something that our commander would want us to do? I mean, she gave us explicit orders.
Ma'am,
I have a feeling that they are connected in some way.
if that's true, then her son might come up in our mission. Ma'am, do you know if your son likes to wander around at all?
Yes. That's a good question.
Does he like to go?
He seems to be affected by the same wanderlust that periodically affects the men in the Nightstorm line. They've been known to wander, although not his father that much. Max, unfortunately, is in very poor health. She lets out a long sigh. I really need to get home to my husband. I can't leave him for this long. Or my family. We don't have as much money as the ancestors used to. I don't have money to care for my ailing husband. I have to go home to him. That's part of the reason she seems so frantic. It's not simply that her son has gone missing, but she also needs to go back and attend to her husband to make sure that he doesn't die on her all of a sudden and lose all of her family.
Man, what brings
your child
to look for your son? What makes you think he boarded the train or he'd be over here?
Do you happen to have a picture of your son that we can take or something? That way, if we see him, we would know it's him for sure.
I was saying, ma'am, what makes you come to the train station beseeching help? What makes you think that your son came this way? I mean, yeah, there's Wanderlust, but why a train station? What makes you think that you'd be here, or by extension, board a train?
Well, he really does like wandering in woods, and he just marked some stuff on his map at home that indicated he might have gone towards the east of here. Unfortunately, there's no trains running anymore, they tell me. That something happened to the train system that way, but nobody seems to have seen my son.
You mean Pang Valley?
Yes,
Is that the way that he was headed?
He might have. Is
that where it was marked on his map at his home, at your home?
Yes, he has marked plenty of places, but that's one of the more recent ones he marked. I think it said he really wanted to go visiting in that direction. Ugh.
Well, we need to head that way anyways, so we will look for your son.
I hate to be so cold, man, but if we do, we have a mission that's much. We have another mission that's important. After we accomplish that, if we don't come across your son, we'll look for him after that. But there's something else that we have to take care of.
Her eyes kind of mist up slightly, but she nods her head. I understand, but please, if you see him, just keep him safe if you find him. She kind of looks at you, pleading, even though she seems to know from the deep look in her eyes that maybe something bad has happened to her son, and that's why she hasn't seen him in a few days.
We'll definitely keep an eye out for him.
I smile at her and I say, "We will do our best, Lady Andrea."
I pull over the paladin. How dare you talk to the lady that way? You want to keep her hopes alive. Don't dash them. When you follow rules too strictly, it's not good. You also have to have a human heart.
Is he human?
Horace just snorts aloud.
The question that everyone asks themselves, is he human?
Yeah. Cowheart, yeah. Or Bull, I guess.
But we also have to accomplish. I'm sure we'll come across her son at some point, but we have to take care of a whole city versus just a whole town.
Whoa, hold on. We're supposed to be kind of like on the hush about that, by the way.
We didn't say anything to anyone. All I said was we were headed that way.
I was talking about the save a whole city bit.
Oh,
yeah, yes. Exactly.
That Onyx, might have been a little bit too much.
Yeah, Onyx, you pulled me aside though, didn't you? If you didn't pull me, I would have said that in front of her.
But it's a busy train station though. Others might have heard.
All right. Well, I think we did enough damage here. We should just.
We don't know.
It's the sort of busy place that conversations usually are not overheard unless somebody's intentionally trying to hear you, and it doesn't look like anybody is trying to eavesdrop on you.
Is the lady still standing there, or has she departed?
she is still standing there to make sure until you say that you were going to look for her son, and then she says something more about needing to go home to check on her husband because again the family doesn't have enough money. In fact, when you check the dossier that you now have on your phones, which unfortunately I need to put in there because I forgot. Sorry, my bad. That it says that the Nightstorm family is actually becoming close to destitute. They are still lords and they still have their title and their position, but they are essentially sold off the majority of their lands and have very little in terms of holdings.
Here's what Felsen proposes to the party. We escort her back home because we could just do that with one.
Well, how far away is her home?
Well,
That's if it's in the same direction, then I'd say yeah. Whereabouts do you live, Lady Andrea?
She basically says that she lives in the unfortunately the dilapidated. She actually uses that term manor outside of town. That she has the right to get back on her own. She just kind of wants to be alone at this point with her worries, and is just hoping that you guys are taking her seriously, since not everybody around here is. In fact, the train guy has been tired of her complaints. I think because he'd run across her before looking for her son at a different point, and that her son was perfectly fine and came home on his own, and so some people are annoyed with her.
Ma'am, I promise you, we'll look for your son. But there's just something else we have to take care of first.
We will do our best. I can promise you that.
So she departs at that point, and there's still a kobold nearby talking about car rentals to passerbys.
I do believe we still need a vehicle.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a car then.
I walk up to the kobold.
Let's get a Hummer.
The kobold
A
talking
black
about
Hummer.
the kobold talking about rental cars turns around. Oh, can I help you?
How much are your cars?
We need a truck.
The kobold looks between the lot of you. Truck, you say? Are you talking about a truck that can fit all of you? You're talking about a truck that can haul lots of stuff.
Fit all of us.
Fit all of us, yeah. Maybe go off-roading a little bit if necessary.
So what you're talking about is a sport utility vehicle. The kobold pulls you off to the sides and towards the rental car lot, which is actually quite nearby. It just was not really very visible when everybody was departing from the trains. Come this way, we can set you up with a truck right fast.
Sounds good.
How much is this truck going to cost?
What sort of financing do you have?
Where's the card that we got?
Can we look at the cars first?
Well, show us your cars first, or your trucks, please.
So the kobold takes you around towards the utility vehicle, since you indicated that's actually the kind of truck you were looking for. And one of you actually does see a bright orange Hummer off to the side.
That's what we need.
There's also this purple truck of sorts that has a cargo bed, but also has a cab large enough to fit a Minotaur and 3 passengers.
Minotaur rides in the back.
Are you sure he wants to do that? Might get cold.
Currently, it is midsummer in the region. It's actually more, even as it gets towards evening, it's kind of in the top of the 70s and probably won't get down much below 68 degrees outside.
You're fine. You're a cow.
Is calling him a cow like derogatory? Do you take offense to that?
Yeah, you do. Like, don't forget your sunglasses, Edvar.
Oh yeah, forgot to put those things. No, it's nighttime. I'm good.
As again, it is midsummer. It is not yet nighttime. It is barely evening, and twilight hasn't even.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was evening.
No, it's not quite nighttime. It's evening, but it's not nighttime because it's midsummer. So you still got like at least 2 hours left of daylight.
Well, then I put my sunglasses on.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
That is a beautiful song. Did you just make that up?
Yes, I did. I was quite of a singer myself.
I'm surprised you're not a bard.
Do we rent this said vehicle?
I had many talents.
Let's take the Hummer, I guess.
I agree. Let's take the Hummer.
The kobold puts its hands together, meeting them back and forth. Ah, perfect vehicle. You could fit yourselves. You could fit a couple other people. You kind of tilt its head to the side, looking at your patches. You know, tie some people up and back, and still handle some cargo, and maybe even pick up one or more of your cronies. Looks over at whichever of you is the leader to talk financing.
That'll be me.
You got the credit card.
Make sure you use the corporate account, Horace. We want to get our, benefits.
Yeah.
I think we'll need the vehicle for probably about a day or two.
The kobold starts talking to you. Basically, the price is going to be fair. The price is going to be fairly high. You're sure that the boss would probably be grumbling at you for this. However, it is still a lovely orange Hummer, and she did give you a card that you could use for pretty much anything. So
she didn't say anything.
That is, my imagination runs wild with that. So we just get whatever we need and roll out.
All right, little fella. Let's finish his paperwork up.
all right then. It takes only a couple minutes to sign the paperwork and give the corporate card, or as it is, to the kobold, who's now looking very happy with all the greed that it's, greed is good for this kobold. And you are now the proud renters of an orange Humvee that can fit all of you. It looks like it can fit at least 6 normal passengers, along with maybe as many as two or even 4, depending on size, of collies, i.e. people you need to handcuff, and a small compartment for various equipment bags if you want to put them in there.
I drive or shotgun. Or I'm driving now. Then.
All right.
Hand over the keys.
I hop in.
Horace hands over the keys very reluctantly to Onyx.
So
Does
everyone,
this thing have GPS?
your phones also have GPS, but yes, it does have GPS. It has everything integrated, including a wireless drop zone in there.
See, it was a smart investment. I put in the coordinates for the town. Everybody in?
Yeah, Felstein gets in the back, in the middle, kicks a split up on the drink carrier, and begins to issue a tweet hashtag rollout with the crew.
Hashtag rollout.
Everybody in?
Yeah, I imagine there's probably, some sort of messenger or, social media service like Twitter and Facebook in this world since they invented, these sort of smartphones.
Leaf book.
I honk the horn and I go, let's go.
A tweet, yeah, a tweet. All right, let's go.
While we're driving, Horace will keep an eye out on like in the forest and stuff,
Alright.
and as we're to look at just to see if there's for some reason a random kid running around.
Always
Yeah, I do the
thing to
same.
look
I'm
for because
constantly scanning to see if there's, a small object running around anywhere.
Yeah, that's always useful information to have. Unfortunately, this will be the end of tonight's session. Normally it'll be 2 hours. Most sessions will be 2 hours long. Unfortunately, because we were working on character creation for about an hour. This one's only an hour long. I would normally I would love to do more. Love to do more, but I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I need to make sure I get some sleep for tomorrow at work. So basically, this seems like a great place to stop for the week because you're not quite there yet, and you've just gotten up through the overview sort of stuff.
All right.